And in New York, of all the restaurants, you went to one, Veselka, almost 68 years in business, an Ukrainian restaurant. It's almost like the food embassy of Ukraine in New York, in the States. And you concentrated in one dish that Ukrainians are very proud of. Even I know it's a lot of country can claim ownership. Ukrainians love their borscht, even in so many different borscht I learned over the last year and a half all across Ukraine. What did you discover about going to that restaurant and visiting all the Ukrainian immigrants here in New York?
I've been to Veselka a few times. It's right down the street from my house, and I never understood all the history. And in the Ukraine, obviously we want to do a Ukrainian episode because of what's going on in that part of the world right now. But we also look at anti-Semitism in Ukrainian communities, both here in America, but also in the Ukraine. And there are two communities. The Catholic Ukrainians are mostly in the East Village, and the Jewish Ukrainians are mostly in Brighton Beach. And in Veselka, you learn the story. Borscht is such a good metaphor for what's going on between Ukraine and Russia right now. You're right, Jose. There are many types of borscht. Borscht is very popular all across Eastern Europe, but the borscht that people know all over the world, the beet borscht, that beautiful magenta-colored borscht, is Ukrainian. And, the first time I had borscht was at the Russian tea room. It wasn't at Veselka. I was having pierogies at Veselka, and I was thinking they were probably, Polish when I first had them. And so, or varenikis, they call them varenikis in Ukraine.
Varenikis.
And so what I learned was that this thing between Russia and the Ukraine is not new. There was a Holocaust that was created by Stalin. It's called the Holodomor, and it was a man-made Holocaust through starvation. And the Russian, Tsar, and then after in the 40s with Stalin, and now, maybe not the 40s earlier, but now this is happening, and it is a long, long saga, and the Ukrainians are just fighting for what is theirs. They just want to be left alone, and the solidarity that they have been able to harness and also localize at that one tiny restaurant is incredible, and even the church there in East Village, all of the things that they're doing, it's very, very moving. And it just goes to show you, in my backyard, there's so much history. I go to the butcher shop there, and this guy, he's so funny. He said, you have to come in the back, and I literally see how the sausage is made. In the Filipino episode, I learned for the first time how to carve a pig's head, which as a Brahmin girl was a really big deal. Because I'm not a chef, I go to the butcher, they make a nice package for me, I take it home, I wash it, I use it.
I saw it in some of the promos. You seem to be doing amazing. So you mentioned the Holodomor, that this happened 1930, 31, 32, 33.
Yeah, exactly.
Millions die. And what's happening right now, it's almost, in a way, a starvation. Now, not for the Ukrainian people. Ukrainian people are good farmers. I think, unfortunately, they learned from what happened in the Holodomor. The issue now is that there's many people that depend on the food produced in Ukraine, people in Africa and Asia, other parts. And without that grain and those cereals, I'm very worried that we're going to have another big hunger issue in the month and couple of years ahead if this war doesn't stop. But that's what we love this, of the nation, because you're showing us that every plate of food and the people that make that food possible is stories that go beyond what is obvious to the eye, obvious to the taste. And that's what you're doing with every one of those connections with the people, with the food.